Let me help you with your vision, they losing their sight here. Time to send the world a message they might hear. Like Meek Mills, I'm making it quite clear. I'm chasing my dreams and fighting my nightmares. I'm going real hard, I'm talking words you understand, I'm talking real bars. I'm going everywhere, you know I'm talking real far. Yeah, it's time to raise a toast to this thing that I love the most. As I go from coast to coast, I'm talking north side, I'm talking south side, I'm talking east side, I'm talking west side. I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, it's time to let you know how I spit it when I flow. When I go and light a fuse and I set to let it blow. I'm talking worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide. Yeah, time to check my status and the GOAT is what it be. And you know I'm over 30, so my level is a G. And I may be from the hood, but I'm way beyond these streets. And my pockets hate a diet, so they always down to eat. Even though they screaming fame, and it's always spelling me. And I'll never hang it up till my mission is complete. And I'm looking at you haters, I suggest you take a seat. Cause it's all funny games to a killer show his teeth. This is for them cats that be screaming homies. Claiming that you're real, but we know you're phony. Now I'm chilling with my sons, they my one and only. Like the Triller brothers, yeah, we screaming lions only. Step into this den, I welcome all who will dare. Never met a David, tell me whom shall I fear? Gotta rep the nation, black and gold is what I wear. If you look to your left, to your right, I'm everywhere. I'm talking worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide, I'm going worldwide.
Hello and welcome to the Roxamore Sports Network presentation of the Roxamore Report, Season 2. 2020 has been a wild year where nothing has been definite, but high school sports are back in Western Pennsylvania, and it's safe to say that the athletes were ready to get back to it. Before we get started with our highlights, we'd like to ask you, the fans, to hit the comments section and show some love for your favorite athletes who have risked it all in a season of uncertainty to play the sports they love. With that being said, let's get the show on the road. We're going to get things started with the sport with bullies, scoops, and flicks. You know we're talking about field hockey. Let's run the highlights from the first game, Woodland Hills versus Upper St. Clair. And here we go. This one coming from the second period. Upper St. Clair is going to score their first goal by number 16. That made the score 2-1, and now we'll take it to the second half from that game. Once again, it's going to be 7-0 the score here. In the third quarter, Upper St. Clair is going to score their 8th goal of the game. That's number 5, putting it in the net. We now move to the second matchup for the Woodland Hills Wolverines when they took on the neighbors and the Fox Chapel Foxes. Second quarter, Fox Chapel, they were piling on the goals. They get it in close there and score another one. And now we'll move to the second half from that game. Fox Chapel again, 6-0 lead, keeping it on the ground. Nice hit. Gets deflected inside, fight for it, and scoops it right in for their 7th goal of the game. So that concludes our highlights from the field hockey. Now we're going to take a short commercial break and bring it right back with some volleyball action. We'll see you there.
Hey kid, let me tell you about the Soul Pit, and I want you to let everybody know about it. Soul Pit is what's happening in and around your city. Soul Pit is on the internet and around the globe. Soul Pit is on your block and in your car. Soul Pit is in your ear. It's in your hair. It's everywhere. Soul Pit is the latest news, hottest styles, culture, education, information, and more. It gets you ready for things to come. Hey kid, you know what the Soul Pit really is? It's a little something extra for your soul.
Hello and welcome back to the Roxamore Report. If you can dig it, it's time to move to volleyball with the season highlights from the Woodland Hills Wolverines. We'll get things started with their season opener matchup between Beaver High School. It's been a tough season early on for the Wolverines. Here we find them down 19-12. The serve, outside hit, blocked at the net. And a point off the block for the Wolverines.
The gap just a little bit. Score now.
That inches Woodland Hills closer to that deficit of 19-13 as we move to the next clip. This time, Woodland Hills down 19-0 coming off the serve from Beaver High School. A lot of size at the net as we saw that last block. They go for it again there, but dug out. The hit right to the back line. Beaver wasn't sure if they had to play it or not. They did, and it goes out of bounds. Beaver would end up taking the win in that one as we now move to the second matchup for the Woodland Hills Wolverines against Kiski area. This time, Woodland Hills ahead in the first set, 17-16. A nice serve, forces it over the net. Set up, free ball. Kiski now to the middle hitter. Puts it right down on the line. Nice placement for the Kiski area high school volleyball team. We now head to the next highlight. It's going to be a long one here in this Kiski versus Woodland Hills matchup. Let's get it started. Woodland Hills starting off with the serve. Like I said, a long volley here for both teams, doing a good job keeping it up. Nice hit from the back row. Push outside for Kiski. Cheeky little tip attempt. They keep it in play. Now to the outside hitter. Tipped around. Woodland Hills trying to finish it, but will only get the free ball. The volley that goes forever. This time the spike attempt is blocked in the net for Beaver and the point for Woodland Hills. The next matchup we take you to is Woodland Hills versus Plum. Another long play here. Plum with the commanding lead up 13-5, 1-0. It's going to be another great volley for these two teams. Woodland Hills using their size at the net to get the block. Shoved over, should be a decent attempt on the outside hit. Once again, going to the middle, tipped out of bounds. Point Plum. They take that set and the game. And finally, we have Woodland Hills Volleyball versus Penn Hills. Let's take a look at that one. This game tied up 10-10, first set. Rivals Penn Hills and Woodland Hills. Once again, they're going to go to the middle hitter, try to light tip there, but dug out nicely. Libero for Woodland Hills getting the dig there. Fight for the 11th point. Woodland Hills keeping it up. Oh, a nice diving attempt. That hit saved by the libero for Penn Hills. Another great volley. Back and forth these teams go. See if they can finish it off with the outside hit. Tipped. Stays in play. And some miscommunication there. Barely getting it over the net. Another volley that never ends. Both of these teams keeping it off the court. And the tip. What a way to finish it. So volleyball is out of the way. Not a strong start to the season for the Woodland Hills, but still a little bit of time to get back on the winning track. With that said, we're going to take another commercial break. We'll see you right back here on the Roxamore Report.
Hi, welcome to Fit for Boxing Club.
Here at Fit for Boxing, you'll find a fast, fun, and effective workout where you can burn up to 1,000 calories. Come try a free class at Fit for Boxing, where beginners are always welcome. It's fun for the whole family, people of all ages. Old or young, it doesn't matter. In addition to our trainer-led workouts, we also offer private lessons, community, fundraiser, and team building events for local companies and more.
Hi, my name's Mario. I've been a member at Fit 4 Boxing for a little over a year now. If you need to get a good workout in, come to Fit 4 Boxing, and Rich and his staff will take care of each and every one of you.
Fit for Boxing Club is located in Hampton Township, just outside of the city of Pittsburgh on William Flynn Highway. Come learn how to box and have fun. Call Fit 4 Boxing Club at 412-213-3584 or visit our website at www.fit4boxingclub.com.
Welcome back to the Roxamore Report. To the pitch we go. It's high school soccer as we get things started in the women's soccer division as they take on the Gateway Gators from Woodland Hills. Here in the first half, it was a barn burner. The sixth goal for Gateway, a long goal there, sneaking it over the head of the goalie for Woodland Hills. Gateway would take the win in that one as we now move to the second matchup for the Woodland Hills girls soccer as they take on McKeesport High School. Woodland Hills down 2-0, looking for their first goal. Going into the middle, nice pass. That time taken away, sneaks it right past the goalie for the first goal of the game for Woodland Hills. That halves it at 2-1. And now to the second half for Woodland Hills versus McKeesport. The second, 26th minute, Woodland Hills down 4-1. Nice volley, keeps it in play. Goalie thought she had an attempt at it. Now this time out of the net. The McKeesport defender had nothing to do to save her goalie. That's another goal for Woodland Hills for number 3. And then once again here in the second half is going to be the third goal McKeesport up 3-1, looking for their fourth, the free kick. Oh, and she drills it. Goal lasso for McKeesport. Nice shot from just outside the penalty box. And after that game, Woodland Hills went to West Mifflin to take them on in the women's soccer. Let's take a look at West Mifflin's first goal. Once again, the goalie way out of position in the 22nd minute. That's going to be an easy one for West Mifflin. And now for Woodland Hills, once again, the ladies soccer team finds themselves way behind. The corner kick somehow bends and sneaks into the net. Nice attempt there on the goal. The first goal for Woodland Hills narrows it down to 4-1. And after that game, Woodland Hills would take on Carrick. Carrick out of the Pittsburgh City lead. They trio 1-0. Woodland Hills looking for their second. Nice job finding the opening, sneaks it past the goalie for the second goal of the game, putting Woodland Hills up 2-0. That was in the first half. We now move to the second. Woodland Hills looking to expand on their lead. Pushing the pace, Woodland Hills 2-on-1 this time, declines the pass, sneaks it right past the goalie once again. So from girls soccer, we now move to the men's division. Woodland Hills boys soccer coming in with a record of 1-5. Let's show you the highlights from their first matchup against Franklin Regional, where Franklin scored a lot to Woodland Hills 0. This is going to be the first goal for Franklin Regional. Just puts it right in under the goaltender's leg. We now head to the end of the first half and a chance for a header here for Franklin Regional. Franklin, the cross, all beautifully headed in, right past the outstretched arms of the goaltender. Franklin Regional takes that game 15-0 on their home pitch. We now move to the second game for Woodland Hills as they take on West Mifflin. One goal to show you here. West Mifflin up 1-0. Look at those uniforms. The stripes are always good. This time chipping it in right past the goaltender once again for Woodland Hills, giving them a 2-0 lead, and they would win this matchup against the Wolverines. The third match for Woodland Hills, they'd take on Penn Hills in their closest game of the season. Woodland Hills ends up coming out with a 3-2 victory. Let's see the goals here. Trying to outrun the defender, went for the clear. Toying with them. Bar California sneaks it in, ties it up 2-2. And now the biggest goal of the game for Woodland Hills, it's going to come in extra time. The free kick. Puts it up. Oh, and beautiful placement off the post once again. And that is the winner for Woodland Hills. Puts them up 3-2 in overtime. And coming off that great win against Penn Hills, Woodland Hills would now take on Plum in their next matchup. A lot of goals to show you here. In total, 11 for Plum, 0 for Woodland Hills. Plum gets it to the middle of the field and sneaks that one in right under the goalie. That would be the first goal of the game for either team, but Plum had more to do as we head to the next clip. Up 1-0, looking to expand the lead. The one-timer off the touch. Once again, gets past the goalie. Not much he could do on that one. That's number 4 scoring for Plum. One after another will take you to the next goal for Plum High School. The Mustangs, a lot of room there in the middle of the field. The defender tried to flick at it. Couldn't get it to go. Defender can't help out his goalie. Makes it 3-0. And of course, 3 turned into 4 for the Mustangs of Plum High School. Let's look at the next. Number 4 already had 1 goal earlier in the first half. Oh, a beautiful pass, sneaks it past him, stays onside, and just nudges it in for his second goal of the game. And last but not least, we're going to show you another goal here for Plum High School. In the 16th minute of the second half. Nice save by the goalie. Oh, but the rebound shoots it. Bar Mexico, another goal, the 6th of the game for Plum. And like I mentioned earlier, that was not the end of their damage as they finished with an 11-0 score. So once again, we're going to head to a short commercial break and bring you right back to the live action here on the Roxamore Report. Welcome back to the Roxamore Report. It's the moment you've all been waiting for, high school football. We get things started with the storied franchise of Woodland Hills High School, and at 4-1, Woodland Hills has gone from rags to riches after just winning 3 games last season. Let's take you through their first matchup against Connellsville High School. Woodland Hills had full command of this game. First things first, Deontay Williams, the star of the show for Woodland Hills, a deep pass to Reek Scipio. His leading receiver gets the touchdown, and that puts the Wolverines up 22-14. Go ahead and celebrate, young fella. That was the second quarter. Now let's move to the third. This time doing the scoring for Woodland Hills from the 30-yard line. Taylon Brooks makes a move, shakes the defender, untouched into the end zone. Woodland Hills, at the end, they're going to take the 60-20 win over Connellsville High School. Now let's take it to the third quarter, and it's going to be a touchdown for Connellsville. The quarterback making things happen, stiff arm, get off me, high steps into the end zone. Once again, that's going to be a 60-20 victory for Woodland Hills High School. Now we take it to the second game of the season as Woodland Hills look to stay perfect against Penn Hills High School. In the second quarter, we get things started. Woodland Hills up 18-7. Deontay Williams going to roll out. Looks for his receiver, finds him. Makes defenders miss toward the center of the field. Touchdown number 5. Now to the second quarter we go. It's going to be a jet motion, faking the handoff. No one home. Deontay Williams gets up, celebrates with his teammates as that ties the game up at 7-7. And finally, we have another second half touchdown for Woodland Hills. This time it's going to be Omari Daniels. Deontay Williams instead rolling out, declines the pass, makes everyone miss. Another juke and gets tackled into the end zone. Woodland Hills would finish that game out winning 26-7 over rival Penn Hills. Now let's move to the third game of the season for the Wolverines, where they took on North Hills. We get things started in the first quarter. Woodland Hills starts with the lead, a trick play, the handoff, the pass, and a touchdown. A chance to tie it up on the deep ball. That was Robert Dickerson with the heave and catch. And now to the second quarter we go. Woodland Hills trying to make up for that play on defense. Late second quarter trying to score, but before the half, the pass tipped, but found in the back of the end zone. Tariq Scipio making the highlight plays again. And that was to end the first half. Let's take you to the second. Third quarter, Woodland Hills now a commanding lead, 22-7. All over that is Armani Bailey. Pick +6 puts Woodland Hills ahead 28-7 with a chance for 29. A great defensive play there for Armani Bailey. And finally, we go to the fourth quarter. The scoring wasn't done for the Woodland Hills Wolverines. This time, Tariq Scipio gets in on it again. Fourth quarter, Williams dropping back, plenty of time in the pocket, heaves it to the end zone, jump ball, and Tariq Scipio showing off his athletic ability, outjumps 2 defenders and gets the touchdown. So coming into their next matchup, Woodland Hills was 3-0, taking on the undefeated Penn Trafford team. Let's take a look at that one. Second quarter, Penn Trafford ahead 14-0, looking to add more. Woodland Hills needing some Oklahoma drills, unable to bring him down. That's number 11 strutting into the end zone for the third touchdown of the game for Penn Trafford. We now move to the third quarter. Penn Trafford looking to expand their lead on the Wolverines. This time, Cade Yacomelli, running back, fakes it. Wide open. Where's the defense? Easily across the line, touchdown Penn Trafford, and there was plenty of that to go around. That put them at 30. They finished at 38. Let's see the final touchdown for Penn Trafford. This time, number 12, QB, fakes the handoff, gets the outside edge, and brings it in for the touchdown. The final one of the game with 5 minutes and 10 seconds left in the fourth. So Woodland Hills would suffer their first loss on the season, 38-6 to Penn Trafford. Upset with that loss, we now take it to the final game that we've seen for Woodland Hills as they took on Franklin Regional. Woodland Hills trying to get back in the win column. This time a screen pass. Amari Daniels didn't have space at first. This time turns on the burners, and you're not going to catch him. So excited he falls down in the end zone there. Go ahead and celebrate, young fella. You just put your team ahead 7-0. As the celebration continues, we now take it to the second half between the Wolverines and Franklin Regional. Third quarter, Panthers rolling out, ball in the air, wide open touchdown. The Panthers had a chance in this one early in the game, but Woodland Hills would separate it in the fourth quarter. Let's go there. This time, irreceivable. Fourth quarter, 7:42 remaining. Woodland Hills up 26-7. Easy money. In that game, Deontay Williams was 7 of 12 passing for 129 passing yards and 1 passing touchdown. He also rushed for 87 yards, and Irascible's 17 rushes. Whew, the workhorse for 95 yards. The next game for Woodland Hills will be against a Saturday night matchup between next-door rival Gateway, who has outscored opponents 92-21 in their first 2 games. So once again, we're going to take a short break here on the Roxamore Report. Be right back because you're not going to want to miss the top 10 plays.
Hey kid, let me tell you about the Soul Pit, and I want you to let everybody know about it. Soul Pit is what's happening in and around your city. Soul Pit is on the internet and around the globe. Soul Pit is on your block and in your car. Soul Pit is in your ear. It's in your hair. It's everywhere. Soul Pit is the latest news, hottest styles, culture, education, information, and more. It gets you ready for things to come. Hey kid, you know what the Soul Pit really is? It's a little something extra for your soul.
Hello, and welcome back to the Roxamore Sports Network. Before we get started with the top 10, we'd like to take you through the statistical leaders thus far in the season for Woodland Hills. In the passing category, no surprise here, Deontay the Situation Williams, and he has been a situation for opposing defenses. On the season, he's 38 for 65 with 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and 683 passing yards. After his Week 1 performance, Williams received 12,228 first-place votes, which earned him the top player in all of Pennsylvania for Week 1. The young fella got his first D1 offer right before that Week 1 victory from Toledo, and he's hoping to stay in his home state and play for the Pitt Panthers. In the rushing category, no surprise, the overall athlete Deontay Williams leads in that as well, 54 rushes for 297 yards. Second on the team is Irascible's. He has 50 rushes for 294 yards. The young man's been getting it done on the ground. The big fella at 5'10", 176 pounds. And lastly, rushing for the Woodland Hills Wolverines is Talon Brooks. Off of 38 rushes, Brooks has 165 yards and leads the team with 4 touchdowns. And finally, in the receiving category, Tariq Scipio, the multi-sport star, has been getting it done through the air. 11 receptions, 220 yards, and of course the big play threat with all that speed, 20 yards per catch and 3 touchdowns. Next up in the receiving category, Armani Bailey. He has 9 receptions on the season for 190 yards, and the yards after the catch are supreme for this fella as well, 21 yards per catch. And finally, we round things off with Eshawn Carter as he finds himself in triple digits in receiving off of 8 receptions and just another target for the very talented Deontay Williams. And now let's take it to the rock spot to get us started for the top 10. And here we go. Starting off at number 10, we're taking it to the court for Woodland Hills versus Plum in high school volleyball. This is going to be another great volley between these two teams. We saw one earlier in the volleyball segment, but they're going to get it done here. Plum up 15-7. Woodland Hills needing to score. Tipped across. Faking the middle hit. Instead, they go to the outside slide. Trying to sneak it to the back corner. The middle hit. Oh, what a great dig, saving it with the offhand. Pinballed over the net, and we're still playing volleyball here, folks. 15-7, the block, and finally the score for Plum. At number 9, we have another play from volleyball. It's going to be a long back and forth between the two teams. Let's see number 9. Woodland Hills versus rival Penn Hills, locked up at 10. Big point here for both teams. Nice spike, taken out from the back row. A free ball over for Woodland Hills. Nice save there by the libero, keeping it in play. Now the outside hit. Oh, a great diving play once again, but Woodland Hills staying alive. The outside hit, this time taken by the libero for Woodland Hills. Both teams battling. This time the outside hit. And the play that never ends. A free ball right across the middle of the court. See if the middle hitter can do it. She cannot. The tip. Gonna try it again. Outside hit finds the hole in the Woodland Hills defense and puts Penn Hills up 11-0. What a great play there by both teams, but Penn Hills finishing it out. Now the number 8 play, we go to an overtime goal that would end up winning it for Woodland Hills. Tied up 2-2. The free kick, takes it. Oh, beautiful shot. And once again, Woodland Hills would win off of that goal. Their first win of the season, 3-2 over Penn Hills. And his team is hyped. They better be. He just made an absolute rocket of a goal. So we now head to play number 7. We're going to stick to the soccer division. Franklin Regional up 6-0, looking for 7. We saw it earlier, the header. Nice play, catching it out of the air, off the noggin and through the wickets of the goaltender for the goal. And we head back to soccer, this time Woodland Hills on the scoring side. From the corner kick, Woodland Hills women's soccer. You don't see that very often. Bends it right into the goal. The goalie not even ready for it, expecting the cross. And now we move to play number 5, and it's going to be back to football. Woodland Hills with the ball. Deontay Williams dropping back. Pressure by the defense. Ball squirts out. And that's going to be the Warriors of Penn Trafford coming away with it. They already had the 14-0 lead. A big turnover there. Gives it right back. At number 4, you got to love to see the special teams. Let's check it out. Woodland Hills versus Connellsville. Bringing the house on the 4th and 12 punt attempt. Sneaks past the block. And then a scrum for the ball. Woodland Hills going after it. Connellsville going after it. As we continue to go there and it squirts out of bounds, that'll be Woodland Hills ball. They had a big lead and a chance at the goal line to get a few more. Now let's take it to the top 3 with play number 3, Armani Bailey. Armani Bailey gonna read the quarterback's eyes, jumps on the route, right in front of it, picks it off, and takes it back to the house. The pick 6 gives Woodland Hills and extends their lead 28-7. At number 2, we have the star of the show, Deontay Williams. Deontay Williams dropping back, doesn't like what he sees, decides to use the legs. Breaks 1 tackle, 2 tackle, 4 tackles, make it 5 and 6 as he gets plowed into the end zone, giving his team the lead. And finally, our number 1 play, sticking in football, is going to be our Omari Daniels. From the 50-yard line, Daniels gets the bubble screen pass. Oh, and he's going to turn on the Jets, breaking a tackle. Now no one's going to catch him, and earns himself the top play of the Roxamore top 10 as he celebrates with his teammates. We see it once again. Going wild, crank it up on the sideline. Woodland Hills has to love that. The speedy receiver getting it done. So that's the Roxamore Sports Top 10. Now we're going to take it to a word from our sponsors.
This broadcast has been brought to you by Senator Jay COSTA, the Democratic leader for the representing 43rd District. Go Wolverines, always supporting the Woodland Hills
Wolverines. Senator Jay COSTA, your 43rd District Democratic leader. This broadcast is also brought to you by Serenity Sounds, whose services include recording studio for all artists, including singers, rappers, podcasters, and audiobook narrators, music production, and more. For inquiries, email serenitysounds@pgh.com, at gmail.com. This broadcast is also brought to you by Soul Pit Media, a proud partner of Roxamore Sports. To get all the latest updates, news, and events and more around the city and the community, visit thesoulpit.com for news, updates, and more. Visit the Soul Pit Media, an official proud partner of Roxamore Sports. The Stephen Preston Foundation would like to wish Mariah good luck this year with the Woodland Hills Wolverines cheerleading team. Good luck to Mariah from the Stephen Preston Foundation. This broadcast is also brought to you by Worldwide. Get the single today in all digital stores. It's available worldwide just for $1. You can get it on iTunes, Amazon, and more. Visit Amazon.com, Spotify, Music World, any world, digital world. Worldwide will be there. Get yours today. Are you prepared for the cold season? Have you had your furnace or system checked? Can your furnace handle another winter? Then you want to call Allegheny's Best to come to your home and service your home needs. They do air purification, system repairs and replacements, and safety checks. Have Allegheny's Best, a fully insured and bonded company, pull up to your home by calling 412-295-0207 and ask for Anthony and use the promo code Roxamore Sports to receive a special discount on your service.
We'd like to thank you for joining us here on the Roxamore Report. That's all we have for you today. We'll be back next time with the Roxamore Report, Season 2, Episode 2. Until then, be kind, wear a mask, and we'll see you next time.